Feed these gamers. Feed these gamers. Feed them. Hello, people. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good. We're excellent. What? And today's December the 30th. One more day, and then the following day after that, it's 2024. Yeah. Anyway, it's a Saturday morning. Got to put something out, as usual. I was trying to figure out what to put out here. I was looking at the Warhammer update, just to show you how big video games are getting with these updates and these patches. But anyway, we're gonna talk about Overwatch 2. I got this article here from Tech for Gamers. Says this. What's up, Steam Deck gamers? What's up, Tech for Gamers? Look, it says here, you know, the Steam Deck tribe, Steam Deck Nation, Steam Deck Universe, Steam Deck World, Steam Deck Legion was good, Steam Deck Mob, what's happening? Steam Deck Squad, what's up? And you Steam Deck nerds, geeks, and freaks, and you investigators, what's happening? Alright, look. It says, Overwatch 2 devs expect to be review bombed before Steam release. But then, what's his name? Derek said this in the comment. I don't take anyone review seriously unless I have seen proof they've actually played it. Yeah. People want proof. Just giving a, you got to play games, you know, to show people proof. And then Jacob said this the same. So yeah, you know, some people want to see the actual proof. You know, it's kind of like with Anthem. You know, when people were tearing that game down, but then when you sit there and play it, you're asking yourself like, okay, where's all this negative energy coming from? That's why I did that Anthem video. But anyway, listen to this. And then when it came to the Wii U situation, people were telling you, oh, it was sales why the Wii U fails. And that was a lie. The video that IGN did, why the Wii U failed, it was a lie. It was a lie made up. The biggest problem with the Wii U was the 3DS. What they had was a CD versus cartridge problem. And the only difference between the CD versus cartridge with the Wii U and the CD versus cartridge PlayStation 1 and 64 was the Virtual Console. Okay? They had a handheld and console in one. And then they had another handheld. And then you got the Virtual Console to deal with. So you're creating a problem again. But the Virtual Console kind of mask the problem to make you think that it was sales why the Wii U failed. And plenty of YouTubers came out doing all that talking and never could explain it until I explained it to everybody. Now everybody got it. Okay? So yeah. You got, when it comes to today's games, you got to play it now. Yeah, people want proof, okay? Because a lot of times, you know, you say a game is bad, and then a person go play it, and they're like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Now me, I can say, okay, if a game is too, if I can review a game by saying this. If a game is too gory or too violent, then that game is not for you. If it's for you, okay, that's what you like. But if it's not for you, then don't play it. That's the best advice I can give to people when it comes to video games. If a game is like doesn't meet your standards and your requirement of like what you like for is like, say if it's like it's too violent, it's too gory, too spiritistic, it's too what's that where they try to put like with The Last of Us 2 when they try to put like same sex within the game. If it's that type of game, if those games are not your type of game, then don't play it. Okay? And that's the best advice I can give people when it comes to video games. You know, if it's too violent, too gory, too spiritistic, if it has same sex in it, if it has like they try to be like play the race card, if those are not your type of game, then don't play it. Okay, that's the best advice I can give you. Anyway, listen to this. when it comes to video games, listen to this. It says here, Overwatch 2 devs expect to be review bombed before Steam release, and it says devs blame Activision CEO for the outcome. Anyway, says here, Overwatch 2 was one of Steam's worst releases this year. The game was criticized for expensive microtransaction and forcefully transitioning players to a new game. A former developer has recently blamed the CEO of Activision Blizzard for the poor launch of the game. He claims the team was already aware that this would happen, but they were not given resources to tackle the problem. Anyway, Activision Blizzard and Xbox joined forces this year for gaming industry's biggest merger. Following this acquisition, CEO Bobby Kotick was recently resigned from his position. However, the reaction to his exit have been shocking, with many developers telling stories of poor management, misconduct, rude behavior, recalling Bobby Kotick management. One developer recently pointed to the launch of Overwatch 2 and claimed Blizzard already expect negative reviews for this release. Why it matters? Overwatch 2 has been one of the biggest disappointment on Steam this year, becoming the second worst rated game on the platform at the point. Breaking Andy Belfort said this, breaking my silence to share a fun fact. When we planned Overwatch 2 Steam launch, my team warned months in advance that we were going to be review bombed. We begged for more information, more detail, and more resource to help us with the anticipated influx. All flatly denied. And then it says Overwatch 2 Calvary. Bobby Kotick has left Activision Blizzard. He allegedly cost the team months of Overwatch 2 development time, and once blamed a decline in stock price on the game, deflecting scandals during his tenure. And let's see, it says here, then it shows, it says here, following Bobby Kotick's exit, former Blizzard developer Andy Belfort pinned the poor launch of Overwatch 2 on the CEO. The developer revealed that months before the release of Overwatch 2 on Steam, the team knew the game would be review bombed on the platform. They sought help from the CEO, as the developer described. We begged for more information, more detail, and more resource to help us with the anticipated influx. However, Bobby Kotick refused to be of any help, leaving the team alone to deal with the aftermath of Steam release. The developer elaborated that the player or work experience meant little to the executive leadership at Activision Blizzard. They only care about the quarterly earning call and never anticipate the hard-working developer who spent time working on the game. And then it says Andy Belfort came back again and pinned something on Twitter. He said this. This is only one example of culture Kotick bred at AB. Then he said, followed downstream usually lands in the lowest paid and most overworked individual. Management was too busy reacting to widely vacillating direction and decision that made zero sense. And then he said, at the end of everything, players' experience and worker meant nothing to suit exec leadership. It was all about quarterly earnings call. And then he said Overwatch 2 was also harshly criticized for its price and microtransactions. We wouldn't be surprised if these decisions were made by the executive leadership. Additionally, the decision to shut down the original Overwatch after a sequel proved to be unpopular. This may have been another example of Bobby Kotick interference to maximize profit and player retentions. While this was a genius business move, such measures have made Activision Blizzard quite unpopular among fans in recent years. This is mainly why many are not upset to see Bobby Kotick, to see the CEO go. Then it says, it's disappointing to see a studio like Activision Blizzard, which was given the industry some memorable games, not giving its developer the respect and credit they deserve. However, with Bobby Kotick no longer part of the company, many are hopeful for a fresh start under Xbox leadership. Various changes are expected at Activision Blizzard for a better future without compromising the publisher's employee. And that is that. That's the end of the article. Look, like I told you guys, when it comes to these games, like I told you, if the game is too violent, too gory, if the game is too violent, too gory, too spiritistic, there's too you know, like they try to introduce like homosexuality like they did with The Last of Us 2. If those games, if those games don't meet your principle and your standard, then don't play them. Okay? And you know, because you're not used to games like that. That's not your type of games. If those games are not your type of games, then don't play them at all. Okay? Yeah. And then play something else, you know? So, yeah. But for people that like those type of games, that's their type of games. But for you specifically, if those games are not your type of game, and you don't like playing those type of games, then don't play them. Okay? Yeah. Sometimes, like with Anthem, you know, the reviews was a mixed bunch, because the reviews were, one part it was Star Wars fans that was mad at EA, the other part was the BioWare fans who like BioWare games, and then the third was the Madden fans. So the anger towards Anthem was a combination of those things. Okay. And that's why the game was getting such a bad press. But then when I played it, I'm like, okay, I was still trying to figure out what was these people talking about. I still didn't see it. Now the game do need some updates and some expansions, that's for sure. But to say that game is a terrible game, by no stretch of the imagination. Okay, they're just people with their negative views. You know, yeah. Sometimes you have to play games for yourself. But like I tell people, if those games don't meet your standard, then those games are not for you. Anyway, you know, especially in a family see, turn off the light. Especially like in a family arrangement, when you're trying to when you're trying to protect your family from certain harm, if you get the point, you know, then those games are not for you. You wouldn't bring those games into your house, you know, because your family wasn't raised that way or believe in those type of lifestyle that's being brought to video games, if you get the point. So yeah. But other than that, Overwatch 2, well, blame Kotick. Well, you can blame him for I say he probably gets like half the blame for all the problems when it comes to the Activision Blizzard problem. I would say you blame Kotick for, like, out of 100%, you would blame him for like half of it. That's his half. He's responsible for it. Now the other half, it all comes down to the employees. So it's like what they say, 50-50. So yeah, I would blame half on the employees and then half on Kotick. You know, that's about it. But to take all the blame, you know, and said it's his fault. Nah, come on now. Every in a company, every person and every individual is responsible for the decisions they make. So when it comes to the whole Activision thing, I would say half of it is Kotick's fault. Kotick with the management, and that's their problem. But the other half now is the employees. So I would say it's 50-50. But now Overwatch 2 getting our review. The devs are expecting Overwatch 2 to be review bombed. Well, to all the Overwatch fans, you got to play the game first. You can't just let you heard all this negative feedback on Twitter. You got to play the game. You got to play it first just to see where that game stack up against, say, the first Overwatch, and then go from there. But is Overwatch 2 going to be a bad game? Nah, I seriously doubt it. But we'll see when when they update it and stuff like that. So yeah, but I would say when it comes to Activision Blizzard, like I would say 50% of it is Kotick's fault. The other 50%, yeah. But this article brought out about new management. I mentioned this months ago when I said Microsoft purchasing Activision Blizzard, meaning that they're going to bring a new management team in, new leadership, new direction, new visions, all that. So yeah, I've been talked about this months ago. So that's what Activision Blizzard is going to go through. So I mean, I think Microsoft made some changes already. I think Matt, I think he's in charge of like gaming. I think he's in charge of gaming at Xbox. I think So yeah. So the Activision Blizzard, they're in good hands right now. They're in good hands right now. They're just under the Microsoft umbrella. So yeah. So performance is a. I mean, communication and performance is a priority when it comes to Activision Blizzard. So yeah. But other than that, man, Activision Blizzard, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. It's just they'll bring in a new. I mean, they're bringing in new leadership. So yeah. So the heads at Microsoft got some restructuring. I think there was an article where I forgot where I seen it, where they said I think Phil Spencer said they're not gonna mess with they're not gonna mess with the gaming. They're not gonna mess with like making any changes within Activision, but they will oversee what's going on, but they're not gonna mess with the development team. So yeah, they will provide them resources, but as far as like breaking them up, he says something like of not breaking the team apart or anything. So we'll see how that. We'll see what happens. But other than that, man, Activision Blizzard now is under Microsoft, so they will be fine. PC gamers got a lot to look forward to, especially with these, updates. I'm sure the StarCraft fans want an update. Of course, World of Warcraft, yeah. Overwatch 2, they'll be fine, man. They will be fine. See, the way you fix problems with video games, you got to communicate with your users. So Microsoft should Activision Blizzard under Microsoft now should learn from Rare Studios. When Rare Studios release Sea of Thieves, they opened a line of communication with their user base, and they were in constant communication with their users, and they update that game a lot, and that user base, it grew. So yeah. So Activision Blizzard, they'll be fine. Yeah. They got some games to work on. They got a fan base for the different games that they have, and those fans are expecting our updates. So they will be fine. Overwatch 2? Oh yeah. Steam Deck? Yeah. It's coming. Well, Kotick, you did your thing. And, well, I got nothing bad to say. I'm not going to say anything bad about you, but you did your time, and it's time for the Blizzard team to go through a new leadership. So, and I think Kotick did right by you know what, I will give Kotick credit though. I will give him credit on this. He made a good decision by letting Microsoft purchase Activision Blizzard. He made a good decision on that. I will give him that credit that much. He made a good decision. So Activision Blizzard, they will be fine, man. They will be fine. They got some changes. They got some changes to make internally. I mean, like internally, but and then game development wise, keep pushing. So yeah, things will be they will be okay. They'll be fine, man. They're going through a what you call it, a transition period right now. So yeah, from Kotick leadership to Microsoft leadership. So yeah, so I'm sure Tech for Gamers will be keeping an eye on this and reporting in anything that comes up. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars and Star Trek fan, or Dark Side. Go. Peace.